special guest, and her name is Teresa Yerkes. And I came across Teresa, or met Teresa, I don't know how I would say that. But we call her Terry because I'm her friend now, so I can call her Terry. My brother, George, that's your shout out, brother. My brother George told me about Teresa, and Teresa does Christian meditation. And, when we think about meditation, we tend to think of it in a religious context, but it's much more than that. And my own experiences with meditation kind of really goes to when Gretchen and I, my wife Gretchen and I, would do a yoga practice together. And my favorite part of every yoga practice was the savasana at the end, where we would meditate. And that was such a wonderful experience. So, talking to our guest today, Terry, I asked her to come in, and she said she would, and she's in here in the studio today with her husband Bill, who's not going to say anything. Kind of a big, strong, quiet type, you know. Anyway, but Terry's here with me today, and Terry, say hello to everybody.
Hello, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
You need to get a little closer to the mic. Say hello again.
Hello, and thank you so much for the invitation to come and talk to you about Christian meditation.
Well, we're looking forward to it. And I know that your focus is on Christian meditation. Can you tell us what the background or the history of Christian meditation is?
Yeah, so Christian meditation really goes back a very, very long time. When we think about the times with Jesus, he would go up to the mountain and he would spend hours and hours there. And yes, he was praying, but I don't think he was probably just talking to God the whole time. I'm sure that he was doing some listening as well. And then, as time went on, there are a lot of times when Christian meditation became popular, and then it kind of fell off, and then it came back, and then it fell off over the centuries. There were a lot of authors that wrote about this and taught this practice. And we have many contemporaries, people you might recognize: Thomas Merton, Thomas Keating, James Finley. And there's just a lot of people that are writing and teaching this beautiful practice because it has helped so many people along the way.
All right. So it's really not a new phenomenon.
It really is not new. It's mostly new to America. Over in the European countries, it is far more popular because they had their churches built, and they had more time for what would be considered holy leisure, where people could spend time just resting and listening, and being still in front of God and be with God. When with America, the last 200 and some odd years that we've been here, what we've been doing is we've been building our churches. So we've been a nation of doers, and I think that there's so many people that are intrigued with meditation, and that they understand the importance of just being, because without the balance, we can kind of lose our center.
That's a good way of putting it. Very nice. Let me ask you this, Terry. Who or what? What's your market? I mean, is it women, men, teens, children? And what ages?
I would say that everybody would be in our market. If you're 8 years old and older, younger than that, it's hard to keep the young ones settled down, and but anyone that is just looking again for a practice that kind of just offsets the many, many to-dos we have, all the tasks, just to kind of balance out our day, just to spend time just being still and within silence. We're distracted by so many things, and it's so important for us to take time just to offset all of the other things that are calling us.
One of my favorite verses is "Be still and know that I'm God." That's a good one. All right. So it's for clergy as well as lay people?
Yeah, I would actually love to teach more clergy this practice, because I believe that if they started practicing it, that they would encourage their members to practice it as well. It has tremendous benefits to our mind, to our heart, and to our soul. It is. It really helps us in our emotional life and our spiritual life. So it has like so many benefits.
Do you package it for groups or individuals, or how do you do that?
So yes, so the Christian Meditation Center, we offer programs for individuals, for group trainings. We offer support as well, because just like any new practice, it takes time to kind of settle into the practice, and having support is really important. It's just similar to exercise. So you recognize one day that you want to get in shape, right? So you go to the fitness center, and you're all ready to go. And but how do you get to the fitness center the fifth, the sixth, the seventh time, right?
Mm.
Because it's a hard discipline to get into. Well, it's very similar to any new thing that we want to do for ourselves. And unfortunately, because it's something we want to do for ourselves, sometimes we'll put it on the back burner and allow other things to come in that we feel are, well, more important, or we just don't have time for. So we do offer the support as well.
Okay. Let me ask you. I'm just curious. And first of all, how long have you been, involved with Christian meditation yourself?
Okay. So interesting. You can't see me. So I'm 62 years old. So I have been a Christian since I was 22. And I had been a Christian for 18 years when I recognized I still had some things that were in my life that still needed attending to. And as a Christian, the Bible promises us things like freedom and wholeness. And there were still some things in my own life that just wasn't lining up. And so I had what we called a coming to Jesus meeting, and I said, "Listen, Lord, this is something that these are two things in particular I was thinking of. Of course, there's a lot of work all of us have when it comes to moving ourselves towards wholeness. But there's two things in particular I was really concerned about. One was the fact that I was drinking too much wine, and the other was I was still having some emotional challenges with my feelings for my first love. So, and these are stories that I have told, and I'm also a writer, so I have two books that I have talked about these things. But they were really challenging for me, because I was going to church. I felt like I was doing all the right things, and yet I was still, I still had these two areas that were problematic. So I had this coming to Jesus meeting, and that was like 18 years in. And, I got this prompting within my heart that the Lord wanted me to come closer to Him. And I kind of knew what he meant. I kind of knew what he was leading to, because I had been doing some reading around this practice of just resting and just being with him. And so that kind of started the practice. And so I've been practicing now since 2000. And so it's been 23 years. And I continue to practice because it has been the one Christian practice that um, it just has really moved me into beautiful places within who I am. And um, primarily, I would have to say, it has allowed me to uh, love God and love myself and love others the way we're called to as a Christian.
Wow, it's very profound. Thank you. And so you do this. The groups or individuals would come to the for meditation. And can you walk us through a session? Like, how do you put people at ease, and how do you start? I mean, do people sit? Do they lay down? Do they? You know, what do they do? How does it happen?
Yeah, thank you for that. I would love to share with you what a training would look like. Um, because I think there are a lot of questions about it. What is it exactly? Because when you think about some meditation, people feel like they have to sit in this lotus position. Well, with Christian meditation, it there's no focus really on the body because we're not really doing anything with the body. It's we're moving our attention into our heart center. So we're placing our attention in that space. So you can be doing any of those things. You can be sitting, you can be laying down. I mean, seriously, you could do this when you're on the bus going somewhere, or as long as you're a passenger in the car, you could do it then too. So it doesn't matter.
Or in a radio studio.
Or on the radio studio, exactly, exactly. And so, one of the biggest challenges with this practice is that people, because we're usually goal oriented, performance oriented, everybody wants to make sure that they're doing it right. And I certainly had that same situation myself. And so, just to put people's mind at ease, is that, it is a practice, and it's called a practice for that reason, that it takes time to kind of ease into it. But so the training itself is really just about helping people to discover their inner life. We are very much aware of our outer life. Like right now you're looking at things around you, and you're aware of all those things, but nobody has really taught us how valuable it is to take and move our attention into our inner landscape and kind of check it out, and move your attention into your heart center and noticing the breath going in and the breath going out. When you're able to do that, you can move yourself into like the present moment, which we rarely do as human beings, right? We're either thinking about the past or we're thinking about the next thing that we've got to do, right? But just being able to live in the present moment, what that can do is that can move us into a place of stillness. And like Mark said, be still and know that I am God, And it's in that stillness and silence that we can hear. We can hear sometimes from God, right? And not only that, we can settle down our body, our system. We're a nervous wreck most of the time with all the stress and worries. But when we can learn to settle our own body down, we can. It can help with anxiety. It can help with depression. Because we're not thinking about things that make us sad. It helps with sleep. It helps with our breathing because we're more relaxed. I mean, there's just so many things that happen when we slow our systems down and just be still.
While you were talking, Bob sent me a text, and he asks, he's a veteran. He asks about PTSD.
Yes. So I know that the Veterans Association, or the VA, has programs for PTSD, and I know that there's a lot of information out there on this subject and meditation. And so this is a short program, so we wouldn't be able to talk a lot about it, but it definitely does. It has helped many vets to minimize the side effects from the trauma that you've experienced. And what I've read is that it helps with sleep, it helps with issues around anger, it helps with the anxiety and triggers and things like that. But I would definitely encourage, if you haven't done any research, that you move forward with it, because you will find that there are a lot of vets that are are saying that meditation could be a very valuable practice for with whatever else they're already doing.
I'm going to throw a question at you, which is really unfair because we didn't talk about this.
Okay.
Uh, OCD?
OCD, yes, yes. And again, I think for OCD, again, I would encourage you to, I'm sure there's stuff that's out there where you can look at actual data and also testimonies. I don't personally have OCD, but what I've noticed for myself, one of the main benefits is that it does slow down our thinking process. So, and you do feel so much more balanced and focused, but focused in a good way. So I would say that the practice itself changes up the brain waves, you know, and honestly, over the course of the 23 years, and you don't need to do this for 23 years to have tremendous benefit. It was in 3 weeks that I had not just I had noticed, but other people had told me that they had noticed changes in my personality. So I would say over the course of 23 years, my whole DNA feels different. I feel as if everything has moved into a very a good place.
Good.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, my. Let me ask you this. Future. So, where are you now, and what's your future look like?
Well, so I started 23 years ago practicing, and it was 12 years ago that the Lord called me to start the Christian Meditation Center. So we have been doing a lot of outreach. So I've taught in colleges, high schools, middle schools, community organizations. I've taught in homes. I've taught in churches. I mean, I'll go anywhere to share the practice. So right now, that's basically what we've been doing. Now with COVID, what happened? A beautiful thing happened, if we could say anything good happened from COVID, was that we opened up our organization nationally, and we even have some international students. So we do a lot of training online, and we have a website. So we do a lot of training online. We have training at different. I go to different places to do training. We have online support, so you can come into a Christian meditation session for when people will be there from Florida, from Texas, California, and we have sessions throughout the week with different times. So most people can find a time that would work for them. And not only do we do the Christian meditation from, just being with God, we also do some Christian meditation where we're actually thinking about God. So we have book clubs, like we're having a book club right now on this practice. So it helps people to learn more about the practice. And then we also do retreats. So we've gone to Florida. We've gone to Washington. We've gone to. I'm trying to think. We haven't been. We've just started these. Oh, we had a retreat in New Jersey. We've done full day retreats in New Jersey. So again, we have an events section on our page, and we're getting ready to do a prayer and fasting retreat in Maryland in February, right before the Lenten season. It's just a really great opportunity to come together just for a weekend, just to kind of focus ourselves on our Lord before Easter.
So, the Christian Meditation Center isn't brick and mortar.
Not now. We are working on it. We have been working with the Pinelands Commission and our local municipality, which is Monroe Township. We're from Williamstown. We have property to put a retreat center and a chapel, and now we're just working to all the different loops that you have to go through to prepare the property and make it line up with all the rules and regulations. That's what we're doing right now.
You said you had a website. how do people, because I actually got another text. Somebody wants to know, how do we reach out to Terry?
Okay. The best way for me to get a hold of me would be to go to the website, and that's Christian Meditation Center. And when you Google us, we come up first, and we have a page called Contact Us, and that would be the best way to get
Is
a
that
hold
a
of me.
.org or a .com?
It is a .org. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
ChristianMeditationCenter.org. All right. Do you do podcasts?
We do podcasts. Yes.
And they're available on the website.
Links?
Links?
They're there now. We have a learning center on our website with lots of information about things we've talked about today.
Okay. I'm running out of questions, but I really enjoyed having you here. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before I let you get back to Williamstown?
Mark, I just want to thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to your listeners and the Cape May and beyond community. Thank you.
Well, it's a much of a beyond. We have a wide listening audience, and maybe you'll bring the Christian Meditation Center to Cape May.
I would love that.
That'd be
Yes.
fun.
All you have to do is invite me. I come.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here today. I'm going to play some more music.